Hey, you guys, and welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I'm your host, Chief Nosy Bystander, and today we're gonna be talking about a whole lot of ghetto stuff. Okay, so first, I want to get into the story with Tory Lanez because the trial just kicked off today, and we need to go through not just the timeline, but also the transcripts. And we're going to get that from No Jumper. So shout out to No Jumper for supplying us with the court transcripts because we're going to be reading over those on what everyone says. Okay, so I know you've been checking out for the news and all that other good stuff. Okay, but after that, we're going to discuss three more tales from TikTok streets. I noticed you guys like those. So I'm looking at the analytics of those videos where we're doing these story times. And we have three story times because they're short, but they're packed full of juicy ghetto-ness. Okay. Right. So I want to get to those stories too, because they came across my FYP and I'm like, oh, what are these stories about? Okay. All messy. All messy. Okay. So I hope you guys stick around for the latter half of the show because we're going to be going over those story times. So you're going to have to get your snacks ready. Okay. But before we get into Tory Lanez, also discuss very briefly P. Diddy. So TMZ had announced it literally seconds this morning that they found out who his baby mom is. She deleted all her social media, honey, because she was ahead of the game. Now, somebody else stated that Gossip of the City already knew who she was, and Gossip of the City put out a story weeks ago that P. Diddy was having a baby in October by a IT analyst by the name of Dana Tran in Orange County, California. Now, that means that Gossip of the City published that story before TMZ, but TMZ brought the receipts. So there's a big difference between speculating and bringing the receipts. But, 1 point for Gossip of the City for producing that story first. Gossip of the City also produced something else, which has not been confirmed or denied, but that this Dana Tran was married, allegedly, cheated on her husband, allegedly, and got pregnant by P. Diddy, allegedly. Well, it's not alleged. That baby's very much real. But that's what Gossip of the City had reported. I don't know if there's any validity in it. I did my due diligence and I checked out the Orange County Superior Courts for Dana Tran's marriage license. I didn't find a marriage license, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It simply means she got married in another county in California. And I don't know. It could be Los Angeles County, but there's so many counties in California. We have no idea. But that's the news on that. Now, first, before we get into this is an article by NPR. Shout out to NPR because they have laid out the full timeline prior to trial. And we're going to go over the timeline for anybody who was incredibly lost about the Megan Thee Stallion situation. So shout out to NPR. We love them for putting together this timeline. And I already went through it, incredibly thorough. And it got the screenshots. We love it here. Okay, let's see who's all up in the building. It's 150 of you in the building. Let me get started. This is me. I said, hola, niños. Hello, Anastasia. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Go Getter. Hello, Rashida. Hello, Chocolate Bay. Hello, Amber. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Harriet. Hello, Brown Delight says, hey, nosy cousins, because we cousins this week, because last week we was internet cousins. Hello, Shan. Hello, Sheree. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Sean. Hello, Just Courtney says, hey, y'all. Hey. What's up, Nosy Inquisitive says, hello, Chief, and the fellow nosy bystanders. Like button, smash. Smash the like button on your way in, your way out. Do it the same way you treat your liquor when you go to your granny's barbecue. Smash it on the way in or the way out. Either way, do it. Thank you. This from K Smith says, hey, nosy cousins. What's up, K Smith? Hello, Cammy on the go. Hello, She Snow. Hello, YNV. What's up, Calypso? How you doing today? Julia Real says, what's up? I finished finals and passed all my exams. I'm ready for the tea. Okay, well, congratulations on passing all your exams and finishing your finals right into holiday season. Welcome. This from Lollipop says, hey, fam. Hello, AC. Hello, Britta Love. Hello, Soothing Zen Sounds. Hello, Just Courtney. Hello, Tamiri. Hello, Julia. What's up, Auntie Tonisha? Auntie Tonisha says, hey, y'all. I thought I was late. If you're black and you showed up 10 minutes after, you're actually on time. Okay. I was late today. What's up, Half Crazy? What's up, Gemini? Hello, Courtney. Hello, Nisa. Hello. Is it Zolin? Hello, Zolin. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, the Black Miss Frizzle. Hello, CC. Hello, Lucky Lady. And if I didn't get to you, let me get to the middle because I know because the Facebook people come last. They always late, but they do show up. Okay, so let's see if we find any of the Facebook people. Hello, Shirley's. How you doing today? Hello, Katrina. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, Andrew. Y'all know y'all be late, but on time. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Brittany Barnes and Brittany Reed and Miss Mines. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Deja. Hello, Lady Lovelace. Hello, Guy. Hello, Patricia. So, if I missed you, I apologize. My apologies. And if I did not miss you, then hello. Okay. Hellos are in accordance. Okay. So let's get into this timeline. Get your snacks because it's a long one. I'm not going to read it word for word, but we're going to go through the timeline. So before we read the court transcripts, you have to know how this all began. And actually, when they read it out, when I read it, I was like, oh my God, it started in 2020. Didn't even know. Didn't even know. Wow, it's gosh, this is like pre-pandemic. Okay, let's begin. So it says a timeline of events leading up to the Tory Lanez assault trial. Shout out to NPR and Juliana Hayward for putting this together. We appreciate that. So Juliana says that the trial starts basically today, and then that Tory Lanez had pled not guilty. Beginning on April 23rd of 2020, footage of Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion hanging out together during the height of the pandemic when health officials asked people to show socially distance. It was shared across social media. This is the post that they're referring to. Now, I'm not going to play the post because it's copywritten songs, but it is Tory Lanez in Los Angeles at Megan Thee Stallion's home, basically kikiing when the city told them not to kiki. And y'all remember this video. She was trying to teach him the one dance. It was like a one TikTok trend dance, and she was trying to teach it to him, but he couldn't figure it out. But here they are. Now, this is April of 2020. They move on in the timeline to go down to July. It says Lanez is pulled over and arrested for carrying a concealed firearm in his vehicle. Stallion, who was present during that arrest, is taken to the hospital because she had an injury in her foot. Now, mind you guys, this is about 2 years old. It just feels like yesterday that this happened. But again, this is pre-pandemic stuff. And a TMZ reported footage of the arrest. The person who was heard in the video says, Megan, are you okay? By April 15th, Megan Thee Stallion has suffered a gunshot wound to her foot. And then Tory Lanez was arrested that night. It says here, and I quote, on Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds. This is from Megan Thee Stallion. As a result of the crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me. I was never arrested. The police drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullet. By July 17th, Stallion had discussed the backlash she received since revealing what happened. And this is from Megan Thee Stallion, her Twitter page. She says, Black women are so unprotected. We hold so many things in to protect our feelings and others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for y'all to talk about, but this is my life and I'm real hurt and real traumatized. By August 20th, Megan Thee Stallion had publicly identified Tory Lanez as the shooter. She says, you shot me and you got your publicists and your people going to all these blogs lying and stuff. And then she says, stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you're dragging it. By September 25th, Lane's legal name, which is Daystar Peterson, releases his album Daystar, packed with lyrics that asserted his innocence, casting doubt on whether Megan Thee Stallion was even shot. In one of his acclaimed lyrics, he says, how the F you get shot in your foot, but don't know bones or don't hit no bones or no tendon. And that was in the song called Money Over Fallouts. By October 4th, Stallion performed on Saturday Night Live, including references to her being shot, rapping in front of a backdrop of the words, Protect Black Women. By October 8th, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office charges Lanez with felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm. By July 12th, the defendant, the 24-year-old victim, got into an argument while riding in an SUV on Hollywood Hills. Prosecutors released the statement and said that the victim exited the vehicle and Tory Lanez was accused of shooting her several times in the feet. Lanez was also charged with carrying a loaded firearm unregistered. Because remember, you guys, if you guys have forgot, Tory Lanez is a Canadian. In case any of y'all couldn't remember, he's a Canadian. He's not a U.S. citizen. He might be a green card holder, but again, I don't know what his official U.S. status is. Again, when you're famous and rich, you can kind of fast track a passport application as well as a citizenship application as well as a residency application. But until then, you are not a U.S. citizen, so you are not governed by the Constitution and specific assets, including owning a firearm. Right, you're covered if you pass away here, right? But Canada still has legality over you and your persons. Okay. So he may be a resident here. He might have a green card status here. But again, until you're a full US citizen, he is governed under two different parliaments and constitutions, right? That's just two separate things. So because he's not a full resident here, a US resident here, he would not be able to have a firearm. Now, if he hired security who are US citizens, they can have registered firearms because they're US citizens, they're governed under the Second Amendment. But Tory Lanez, no. Let me get some of your comments and then we're gonna continue to go down the timeline because I'm really wanting to get to that court transcript. This from Bo Dallas says, I remember this. Greer says, very interesting. It very much is. This from Desiree says, happy Monday, Nosy Fam. Happy Monday. Thank you very much. This from Ditch Doctor says, I didn't know he was Canadian. I didn't get the memo. He will. If he gets, if Tory Lanez is prosecuted and found guilty, he will get deported. He will be deported. Yeah. This from Brittany Barnes says, yeah, I remember this happened, but why is it taking so long to clear it up? That's just how the court of law works, right? Like prosecutors don't bring their cases to a grand jury to get that indictment until they have reasonable suspicion that they can win that case. Because it's a win, it's a zero-sum game, if you will, right? They're not gonna take a case they know they can lose. Because it's really about wins and losses. And no prosecutor wants to be walking around like, yeah, I only have 4 wins, but the 32 other cases that I lost. It doesn't look good. And if they were to switch their job, they ask that. They're like, how many cases have you won? 4. How many did you try? 38, but I lost the rest. Nobody wants to hear that. So prosecutors are very persnickety. All attorneys are typically persnickety about which cases that they want to take because they don't want to lose. They just don't want to lose. Now, some attorneys, private attorneys who handle criminal defense, like Tory Lanez attorneys, like they're going to take his case regardless because whether they can win or not, he's going to pay them a chunk of money. Anywhere between $1 to $10 million, Tory Lanez is probably paying out his legal fees. So they're going to take the case regardless because they're like, win or lose, we just made 10 million. Okay. So they don't care. But prosecutors who don't get paid like private attorneys do are going to be a little bit leery about how they take their case. So if that takes a year or two for them to be able to gather that evidence, then it takes a year or two. It's that simple. You know what I mean? It's that simple. So I hope that explains that. This one, Cece says, I remember Tory tweeted an apology to Megan about that night before she said she was shot. They probably got that. The prosecutors probably have that. Let's get back into this timeline because we're almost done. Since October 13th, the judge issued a protective order against Lanez, forbidding him from going within 100 yards of Stallion. It says here, and I quote, you have been served orally, and the court is ordering your attorney to provide you with a protective order, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Miguel Espinoza told Lanez. In an op-ed for the New York Times published the same day, Stallion discussed the alleged assault. She told the New York Times, I was recently the victim of an act of violence by a man, she writes. After a party, I was shot twice as I walked away from him. We were not in a relationship. Truly, I was shocked that I ended up in this place. Now, that's probably going to come into play because a lot of people on Twitter are dragging Megan Thee Stallion because they said, oh, I thought y'all wasn't in a relationship. In her head, they're not like this, like she is with her current boyfriend. You understand what I mean? If you're sleeping with him, she doesn't get to qualify you as her boyfriend. She doesn't. So people are like, oh, I thought y'all wasn't in a relationship. They weren't. If they were just having a casual fling, they're just having a casual fling. So I think this is the article where people are trying to trip up Megan Thee Stallion, calling her a liar. Like, if she'll lie about this, then she's got to be lying about the shooting. But Megan isn't trying the case. Los Angeles County prosecutors are. I don't know why people don't understand that. Megan, and I just make this abundantly clear, Megan Thee Stallion is not a trial attorney, nor is she a Los Angeles County prosecutor. So even if Megan switched her tone and said, I was sleeping with him, but we were not in a relationship, or even if she just didn't disclose that, which is nobody's business but hers and Tory's, why do people think that because she lied about this, that she lied about all of the events? Megan didn't sit in front of a grand jury and bring her case to them. Prosecutors did. And if prosecutors have reasonable suspicion that they could win the case, they're going to try it. It's that simple. They're going to try the case. So I need people to get that out of their head, thinking that Megan Thee Stallion is the judge, jury, and executioner. She's not. She's simply a victim of a violent crime. So what she says and how she waffles on that didn't bother the prosecutors enough, because they're like, oh no, honey, we can still win this case, whether you was in a relationship or not, whether you were sleeping with him or not. However she defines a relationship is really truly up to Megan. But again, for all of those people out there, Megan Thee Stallion not fully disclosing her private personal relationship with Tory has nothing to do with the fact that that man still shot at her feet and told her to dance. Let's not forget that part. Okay, so to carry on by July 21st, I'm sorry about that. On November 20th, Megan Thee Stallion releases Good News, an album containing the tracks for the reference Imagine Inwards, lying about shooting a real bee, Megan writes. And just to save face for rapper Inwards, you chill with. I hate that because I know the song and I can't say it. Now we're going to swing into 2021. By July 25th of 2021, Lane violated his protective order after attending and performing at the year's Rolling Loud Festival. Lane's performed alongside rapper DaBaby just moments after Stallion left the stage. As a result of this, the judge increased his bail to $190,000 to $250,000 following that month. By December 21st, during testimony of a preliminary hearing in Los Angeles Police Department, Detective Roger Stogner revealed more details of the alleged assault. Lanez allegedly yelled, "Dance, B," as he fired at Megan, who he describes as being half in and half out of the car. Megan immediately felt pain in her foot, observed the blood, and fell to the ground, and then crawled to the adjacent driveway of the residency. She described her injuries as bleeding profusely, and that's according to the police. By February of 2023, now we're back into this year, social media posts falsely claims that the pretrial hearing revealed that Lane's DNA is nowhere to be found on the gun. That misinformation did gain traction, and I remember that distinctively. Because we talk about fake news around here all the time, and y'all know how angry it gets me when people share fake information. I got a small inclination that came from DJ Academics if I had to do some research on who started that stupid rumor. We were talking about it earlier, and somebody said, oh yeah, remember there was gunshot residue. They didn't find any on him. That is not how gunshot residue works. This is an era of people who clearly did not watch Forensic Files. Because if you're my age, which I'm not going to disclose, but if you are my age, you will know that gunpowder residue sticks to you like glue. Okay. And even when you thought you got it off, you didn't. Specifically, if the forensic, the person who's doing the forensics on you knows exactly where to look, because most men will forget their beards. Sometimes people forget their faces too, or their neck area. Sometimes people forget the creases in their arms. So with the fake news, okay, let's cut that short. Let me get to some of your comments. This is from Nightly Neek says, Megan lied to every interview about everything she cried about to you because you're not the prosecutor. Thank God, right? You're not the prosecutor prosecuting this case. You would obviously allow somebody to get away with shooting a woman who's trying to exit a vehicle. This from MZ Monique says, Kelsey and the driver, I believe. The driver of what? This from Calypso says, was Kelsey also sleeping with Tory Lanez? Yes, that was disclosed during trial today, and we're going to get to that part. This is from Monique again, says, that's what people are speculating. She was. This from Elisa says, she said Forensic Files. Y'all know Forensic. I'm just saying, did y'all watch Forensic Files? Because it still comes on Netflix. Y'all need to watch it if y'all don't know about gunshot residue. Okay. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. What's up, April? How you doing today? This question is from Calypso Gray, says, how long typically does it take in general to get citizenship in the US? If you don't have money, 25 years. If you do it the slow way, it's about 15 to 25 years, roughly. If you got money, you can get your citizenship in the US in a little under 4.5 years. It's probably sooner. But most of the citizenship that comes to the U.S. is through chain migration. So you move to the U.S., for example, let's say you're from Ireland and you move to the U.S., and then your aunt and uncle want to come to the U.S. You establish residency here, and then you sponsor their visas to come here. So that's usually how migration works, right? You come because someone else is there. So that's usually how it is. Yes. Let me get to some more of your comments, then we're gonna get back into this. From Neek, Nightly Neek says, I'll pay if anyone can pull up her middle school elementary pictures, dad's death certificate, or song her mom has a verse on. What does that have to do with anything? Megan this we're not all looking at a mirage. Megan Thee Stallion is a real human being who really exists in the realm of life. She's not a CGI that we've all been looking at. Megan Thee Stallion is a real human being. She's a real person who lives and breathes. She has a large social media presence, and it'd be really tough to fake it if she were not a real person. This from Brenda says, but Steph, how can you get shot in the foot several times and a bone not go through it? You guys, I'm not a physicist. I can't tell you how gravity works. Okay? I can't do that. I don't know the height differentials of the car, where Megan was standing and where Tory was pointing. I don't know how to do that. I'm literally not a forensic scientist, so I could not tell you that. It is quite possible. Okay? We don't know the difference. We don't know if it hit the ground and ricocheted up and hit her foot. We don't know that. I don't know any of that because this is the first day of trial. I promise you, the moment we get to the day 3 and 4, when the prosecutors pull out that forensic artist, the person who's going to give you all those trajectories and the lines of how everything was done, they're going to explain that, because I'm pretty certain Tory Lanez attorneys are already ready to combat this statement, right? Like, how could I shoot her in the foot if there's no bones hit? Were you aiming at her bones? You see what I mean? I don't know that. But they're gonna argue that. And I'm pretty sure they're both gonna have forensic, I forget the name of the people, but they're the people who put all the lines together with the lasers, and they're like, this is the height, this is the range he was shooting at. We went out there and tested it. Da, 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 da. They do all of that. Okay. That's up to them, not to me. I'm just gonna read you the story as is. Okay. We're almost done with the timeline, you guys. All right. By March 11th of 2022, Lanez releases the song Cap, which contains lyrics aimed at Partisan. I think that's Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend. The diss track release follows a back and forth of the two had on Twitter earlier in the weeks. By April 16th, Megan Thee Stallion performs a song at Coachella, which references Lanez. Ahead of her performance, Stallion teased the new song and later released it under Plan B. By April 24th, Megan appeared on CBS Morning Show, where she was televised interview directly addressing the shooting. And I quote, she said, he is standing up over the window shooting. He didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quickly, she said. I don't know if he's going to shoot something that's like super important. I don't know. I don't know if he could shoot me or kill me. By August 12th, Megan Thee Stallion drops the album Traumatized, which includes another song in reference to her shooting. She says, I feel like Biggie, who shot you? Stallion raps, who, me? But everybody knows who shot me. By September 18th, the singer August Aslina I don't know how to pronounce this man's name. August claimed that Lanez had assaulted him. August shared a photo of him in the elevator with blood on his face, detailing the exchange. There it is. I'm not going to hold it up too long because it's graphic. And then it says by September 23rd, rapper DaBaby releases a Baby on Baby 2 album that features the song Boogeyman and lyrics referencing the incident. He said, and I quote, "You play with me, that's ish, was childish, baby raps. The day before she said that Tory Lanez shot her, I was effing on Megan Thee Stallion." Ooh, I didn't know they were together. In an interview off the record podcast, Lane acknowledges the trial and the decades of prison time he could face. Guys, I'm actively facing 24 months in prison.
There is a time and a place, brother, when for those people who I do not know and do not owe any explanation will get an explanation.
How do you have the patience? Like, how do you?
I don't know. I've never been a patient guy. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you this. I've always been a time and place guy. And that's why I said, like, you know, even in my last interview, you know, the narrative can be against me, but it's the narrative that's against me. And it's me, like you're saying, it's me not defending myself. In a lot of instances, in a lot of situations, what a lot of people don't realize is one thing connects to another. And when you start talking about one thing, people then connect it to something else. And sometimes, most of the time, those things have no correlation to each other. And so because of that, it's like you avoid it in its entirety because it's not the time and place. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's just wisdom. That's not about me trying to be too cool or me being like, yo, I'm too cool to give y'all the answer, or I'm so patient, or I'm so resilient, or I'm so da 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 da. No, guys, I am in an open case, and maybe I make this shit look really beautiful, but I'm facing 24 years.
You don't seem too stressed, man.
Like, I'm facing 24 years. I make this shit look beautiful, don't I? But guys, I am actively facing 24 years next month.
Wow.
Like, this is not no play situation. I'm not about to. I've been in this for 3 years. I've never played internet games with you guys. I'm not going to start now.
Interesting. Let's continue. By October 24th, Lanez was placed under house arrest until his trial begins. He's also ordered to wear an ankle monitor for all the times, and the decision is made by citing another violation, bail violation Lanez had made, in which he acknowledged, or he allegedly attacked the singer August Aslana, whatever. November 4th, rapper 21 Savage and Drake released a song called Her Loss, including Circle Loco, where Drake references the shooting and casts doubt on Stallion, stating, and I quote, "This be lied about getting shot, but she's still a stallion. She don't even get the joke, but she's still smiling." And then here, last on the timeline, it says December 5th, jury selection for the trial begins. So now let's get over to the no jumper tweets, because this is what I really wanted to read the whole time, but you guys have to have an understanding of the timeline. And I know a lot of people don't have it. That's why I wanted to read it to you guys. So let me switch my screens here, and then let me share this one. And then let me get some more comments while I pull that up. This from Brenda. Brenda says, your feet has more bones in it than any other part of your body. Correct. This is from Kimo. Says she probably was hit with bullet shrapnel. That's also a possibility. That's also a possibility. This from Calypso. Said, Chief Nosy Bystander, you tracking this and coming back with all of the details as they come? Yeah. So No Jumper has a court reporter in the Los Angeles County Superior Courts, because you can't film this trial. They have transcribed the whole thing. So we have the full transcription. What's up, Tiffany? How you doing today? This is from Renetta. Says, Megan said he shot me, and she said he told her to dance. He has 3 charges. I don't know them, and I have to look them up. It's negligence with a gun, bodily injury, and another one. I can't remember the third one, but they're all felonies. They're all felonies. This is from Goddess. Goddess says, standing up over the window. Didn't the prosecutor say in open court he was out of the car? All 3 of them. I wish Megan didn't do interviews until after the trial. Inconsistency creates doubt. No. So remember, and the reason why I'm saying no to this is because I think a lot of people are getting 2 things mixed up. There is a court of law and a court of public opinion. The only doubt that she is casting is on the public's opinion. I'm going to say this one more time. Megan Thee Stallion is not a prosecutor. She can only give the prosecutors what she knows. That's it. That's all. Like that. It is the duty of the Los Angeles Police Department, Los Angeles Police Department detectives, and the prosecutor to put the other evidence together. It does not matter if you have doubts about the case. The prosecutors don't. I don't know how to make that any more clear. If the prosecutors did not feel as though they had a case, they would have never served a grand jury that information to secure an indictment. Okay? I don't care if Megan Thee Stallion was on the fucking moon talking to moon men and that her story changed a billion times. Okay? If the prosecutors were able to get her statement, whatever statement she made, and gathered evidence to support her statement and brought it to a grand jury and was able to secure an indictment against Tory Lanez, then the prosecutor is who you're going to listen to on the case, not a victim, because victims' memories waffle, but evidence doesn't. If she had a bullet in her foot, then she had a bullet in her foot. Okay? If you don't like it, take it up with science, take it up with physics, take it up with the laws of gravity, take it up with Tory Lanez and his gun and his bullet. If you don't like the fact that she had one in her foot, I don't know what else to tell anybody else. All I can tell you is that she's not a prosecutor. The prosecutors and the Los Angeles County Police Department gathered that evidence. They served it correctly to a grand jury, and they were able to secure an indictment. Will they be able to secure a case? I don't know. He's going to be weighed against a jury of his own peers. So it's really up to the jury to determine if the case it can be solidified with a conviction. Okay, so I just need y'all to get that together. Like, oh, she's casting doubts to you. She's casting doubts to you, but you're not on the jury. You weren't on the grand jury either. And you're not a prosecutor. And I promise you, you're probably a human and you're not a piece of anecdotal evidence that was used to secure her the indictment against Tory Lanez. So I just need y'all to just come together real quick. And like, again, we're just going to be just going over facts. Okay. Nothing else. That's all we're going to go over is facts. I don't care what kind of doubts you have in your head. I'm going based off of what the prosecutors are going to argue. Okay. All right. Got it. Good. Let me get to one more statement. It says she's testifying though, right? Her testimony will help the case. So consistency in her story is key, correct? That doesn't even make any sense. So I'm gonna just go ahead and bypass that and get straight to the no jumper court reporters tweets. Okay, let me get to this. Okay, let's begin. So they said Tory Lanez and Megan trial day one. Prosecutors call their first witness. No, wait. There's two threads. I want to get to the other thread. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Oh, here we go. I want to get to the defense. There we go. So it says Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, the defense opening statements. All right. So this is Tory Lanez's attorneys. The defense called out the prosecution for skipping and not mentioning Megan Thee Stallion was in a drunk and jealous tirade that led to Kylie Jenner kicking her out of the party. And the second part of the thread, they says, when Megan got kicked out of Kylie's party, Tory left with her. On the ride home, Tory and Megan began arguing, and Kelsey sided with Megan. Tory then exposed Megan had an intimate relationship with him behind Kelsey's back and to get Kelsey to turn on Megan. It worked. Kelsey then told Tory, oh, she's always does this. Then she told Tory that Megan had an intimate relationship with the baby, Ben Simmons, behind Kelsey's back after Kelsey began dating both men. This confession escalated Megan and Kelsey's argument. The defense argues that Megan demanded the SUV is pulled over moments later. She hopped out, went over to Kelsey's side of the vehicle, and began to beat up Kelsey. A witness, Sean Kelly, owner of the resident, the SUV, that was a typo, was parked by, told the police what he had witnessed. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Not Megan getting into a fight with Kelsey, honey. What's up, Nicole? Ooh. Okay, let's go to I want to go back because now I want to see the prosecution's opening statement. Okay. Whew. Let me get some of your comments before we read what the prosecutors opened with. Okay. She a hot girl. Child. This from Mandersley says, I'm interested in hearing the transcripts of his testimony. He's never told his side of the story, just keeps denying he did anything. We're going to get there. It's only day one of trial, you guys. And No Jumper, shout out to No Jumper for giving us the train. They came through clutch with this set of tweets. I love it. I love a good full set of tweets. Okay. And this from Courtney J says, yeah, it seems like people are mad at Megan like she isn't being affected by the trial too. She has nothing to do with the prosecution bringing the case to court. Exactly. She has nothing to do with that. All Megan can do is tell the police. She has no control over whether the prosecutor is going to take the case or not. She has no idea what evidence they gather. She didn't know. If she was fighting Kelsey and dodging bullets, she probably didn't know there was people outside witnessing it. Okay. This from Brenda. Brenda says, once being part of the legal system, part of the prosecution, they don't always believe what the take of the grand jury. It's mostly political. It's not, because every single state, let me correct myself, every single state is different. So some prosecutors can go to the grand jury and get an indictment. Some have the leisure, I guess the leisure, that at their leisure, they can produce an indictment on their own. They don't have to produce an indictment with a grand jury. Okay. So you're correct about that. It's not mostly political, but every single different prosecutor's office is different. Some require a grand jury to issue an indictment. Some don't. Some give that discretion directly to the prosecutors, where some people argue that's a lot of power. That's a fast way to get rid of your enemies, right? Just issuing out indictments and all. But you're correct in some aspects of this statement. Yes, I agree. So this is messy. Child is messy. Let's get into so Megan backdoored her friend. According to the defense. That's not fact. That's according to the defense. Okay. So I want to make sure we keep the legal terms clear. This is according to the defense. It is not fact. This is just what the defense is arguing to get their friend free. Okay. Let's get into what the prosecutors had to say. I probably should open up with the prosecutors first. So in this thread, it says prosecutors opening. Prosecutors open with Dansby. Ooh, that's what the defendant said before firing 5 shots at Megan. Who? That's what they opened with, Dansby. Tory and Megan argument escalated after Megan called Tory's music trash. Prosecutors refute the love triangle story. Prosecutors allege that Megan called Tory's music trash. She exited out of the vehicle and Tory exited too. Tory then shouted Dansby and fired five shots, emptying the clip. Megan was hit in both feet. While bleeding, Megan limped to cover at a resident nearby. Prosecutor says that Kelsey followed Megan to help her. At the time, Tory began to walk towards Megan and Kelsey. Kelsey approached Tory to stop him from approaching. When Kelsey reached him, prosecutors say that Tory punched Kelsey and pulled her to the ground by her hair. Prosecutors allege that Tory Lanez then demanded they both get back into the SUV. Megan and Kelsey complied with his wishes. Whew. When they got back in the car, Kelsey sent a text to Megan's security guard, Justin Edison, saying, "Help, Tory shot Megan, 911." Prosecutors introduced evidence that showed Kelsey sent a text to Megan's bodyguard alleging Tory shot her. 5 minutes after residents called 911 reporting they had heard shots coming from a black SUV. When police pulled over the SUV Tory and Megan was in, they located a warm firearm in the side lock position, which indicated every bullet in the firearm had been used. Prosecutors played the audio of Tory's calling from jail to Kelsey. He apologized profusely. Not him making a jailhouse call. Not Tory. Child. Not Tory. So what you calling from jail for? Huh? You innocent. What's there to apologize for? Child. We're not even done with the prosecution. We're not even done with the prosecutor's opening statement. He did. Yep. 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 Calypso says, wow. Tory is doing a lot of apologizing. Jailhouse call, baby. Knowing it's recorded all the way. That's what you don't do. That's right. This from Miss Benita said, oh, snap. Text evidence. All he going to jail. Mm-hmm. Chow. This from YMV says, Chief, he's Canadian. He didn't listen to the audio message that calls his recorder. Apparently he didn't. Let's get back into this. Whew. No Jumper continues. Says prosecutors introduced 3 key pieces of evidence. Count it, 3. Tory apologized to Kelsey from jail and blaming his actions that night on drinking. Tory sent a text apologizing to Megan Thee Stallion. Tory allegedly apologized to Megan Thee Stallion's bodyguard, Justin Edison. Now, the reason why they say allegedly is because Tory probably did it in person. Prosecutors offered an explanation for why gun residue was on both Tory and Kelsey. They allege that Tory Lanez shot the firearm, but Kelsey tested positive for gunshot residue because she was next to Tory when he shot the firearm. He got some on her when he assaulted Megan. And these are the accounts of the prosecution's opening statement. Tory is still innocent until proven guilty. That's our disclaimer as well here at the Nosy Bystanders. Let's get into child. They gon' oof. Okay. Let me just make sure we didn't skip any parts because, honey, this is get good and juicy. Hold on. Tory Lanez and Megan Day 1 trial. Defense. Okay, I just want to make sure we got all of them. Not these photos. Okay, no Jumper. Okay, we're up to date. Okay, so here is prosecutor's opening. Here is Tory Lanez. We got that. Here's the prosecutor's first witness. Okay. Officer Diaz. Let me get to your comments and then we're going to see what Officer Diaz had to say. Okay. This is from Mo EC says he's trying to say he apologized for cheating, but they also have proof that he also apologized to Megan's bodyguard. So he lying. Goddess. This is from D. D says public opinion don't carry in court of law. Ask Tasha K. It doesn't. But here's the thing. And I want to explain this to you. Okay. So let me explain this to you. First, that degree there is going to be how I'm going to explain this to you. All right. So the court of public opinion is recognized by every single courthouse in the United States, including state and local, federal, and the Supreme Court. The court of public opinion is the reason why prosecutors and defense constantly are arguing whether they want the media in the courtroom. Because a judge knows that if the public can see what's going on in real time, their opinions can sway a lot. It can sway the jury. You understand what I mean? It could sway whether the witnesses want to come forward. It could sway a lot of stuff. So when let's say, for example, I don't know if it occurred in this case here, I'm not entirely sure, but usually it does in every case. So some defense attorneys will be like, yeah, we want the media to be able to have access to the court. The prosecutor will be like, no. The reason why that gets argued through hearings and this and that and the third is because the public's opinion can heavily weigh on a case. It could cause people to show up to the courthouse, to flood the courthouse, flood the judges, voicemail, emails, bothering the bailiff. It could cause all kinds of a circus. So the judge could be like, yeah, this is a high profile case. We don't want the media in here. You can have court reporters in here and you can have one person per media outlet in here and you can text this or you can take hand notes. So the judge makes the rulings on what people can do and if they can have electronic devices in their courtroom to text like this person did or write hand notes or what have you. So the public opinion does have a huge weight in a court of law. Look at O.J. Simpson's case. Michael Jackson's attorneys also argued they wanted the media in his court cases as well. So the public opinion does weigh, right? It is a real court of law. The public opinion is a court of law. Okay. So yes, it does have weight in the courtroom, but not in the sense of how some people think about it. Some people think about the court of public opinion like, oh, if everyone thinks Megan is guilty, if all the public thinks Megan is guilty or is lying, then ipso facto, the jury's going to weigh that decision. That's not how that works. The public opinion could have a an effect on a courtroom and different mechanisms, right? Not like I say, oh, Megan's lying, and then the jury's like, oh, well, Steph said, so not guilty. That's not how that works, but I hope that explains it to you. So let's get into Mr. Diaz, Officer Diaz's statement, okay? So it says here that Officer Diaz was called to testify to locate Kelsey's chain, Kelsey's pendant, and Kelsey's acrylic nails that was left in the middle of the road after the altercation. Now, here's my thing. If Kelsey was standing next to Tory when there was gunshot residue on her, how does she lose her pendant and her acrylic nails? Unless she was fighting Megan. Now, in the prosecution, they said that he grabbed, according to the prosecution, allegedly Tory Lanez grabbed Megan by the hair, or I'm sorry, Kelsey by the hair and told her to get down. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Because here's this. The prosecution could argue, oh, well, the reason why the Officer Diaz was looking for her acrylic nails and her necklace and her pendant is because Tory Lanez grabbed her by her hair and she was fighting Tory Lanez. I don't think if Kelsey witnessed Tory Lanez shooting someone, she's going to fight him with her bare knuckles and her acrylic nails. I don't believe that. Or she a real go-getter. Okay. You see what I mean? She tussles with the ones who tussle. All right. I don't think that's Kelsey. So I don't think that even if Tory Lanez grabbed Kelsey by her hair, she fought him so hard that all of her acrylic nails fell off and her necklace and her pendant. I don't believe that. I think if someone had a gun and they grabbed you by the hair and told you to get down, you're going to get down without fight. So if Kelsey lost her nails and she lost her necklace and her pendant, she was fighting Megan. Let's be for real. She was. Whew. This is why you got to analyze every bit. You got to answer bit by bit. You can't just say an overarching, this is what I believe. You got to analyze every bit of it because something about that it's not sitting right in my Holy Spirit. Okay. Where are your nails at? And Kelsey doesn't seem like the type that's wearing press-ons. Okay. Let me get to some of your comments here. This is from Sign Tiffany says, didn't you say Tory punched her? That was not me. That is according to the prosecution. The prosecution stated that Tory punched her, but it wouldn't even punching someone wouldn't knock your necklace off, but clawing at him would. That's right. I think they fought. You said fighting Megan. That's right. This is from Mo EC says they are alleging Tory Lanez attacked her. Remember? Yeah, but I don't think in that sense. You just have to use logic, right? There are people, don't get me wrong. There are people who will attack someone with a gun. There are people. We hear about those stories all the time. Like the person, tackled the gunman. Okay, that happens. But that is a rare case. In most instances, when someone has a pew pew and they tell you to get down, you're going to get down. You're probably not going to fight them. Okay. 9 times out of 10, you're probably just going to comply. Okay. It sounds like all three. It sounds like something, Courtney. It sounds like something. This one, Sign Tiffany says, by you, I mean, they're reported by them. Thank you very much. This is from Kenny. XX Kenny says acrylics don't just pop off that easy. They sure don't. Let's go. Let's finish what Officer Diaz had to say. So Officer Diaz continues and says, the prosecution claims Tory punched and attacked Kelsey, causing those items to fall to the middle of the road. The defense claims Megan attacked Kelsey and their catfight led to them items falling in the middle of the road. That's what I surmise. Officer Diaz also testified to the blood trail that Megan left behind after allegedly getting shot. The defense attorney cross-examined Dr. Diaz and caught him in some contradictions, and here they are. Officer Diaz did not take photos of the blood trail. Only footage of the blood trail is through a grainy body cam footage. Evidence was marked incorrectly and it could not identify them. The defense showed him a picture of the markings in the middle of the road that was left by responding officers to identify the evidence. He could not distinguish which marks identified which piece of evidence. Prosecutors played two 911 calls. First call was made at 4:22 a.m. and the second call was made at 4:26 a.m. The first call at 4:22 a.m. recalled hearing 5 shots. The second call at 4:26 recalls hearing shots, then seeing a female in distress who was hysterical and crying in agony. That female was Megan. The prosecutors so far are winning in objections. I counted 6 objections that were sustained, and only one of the defense objections was sustained. Interesting. Interesting. So we have one more thing to read, but I'm going to get to your comments. It is prosecutors call their last witness. I guess they only called 2 witnesses today. Kind of lazy. They know we nosy. This from Mandersley says, I feel like he fought Kelsey for taking up for Megan, then shot at Megan so he wouldn't get jumped. Now, here's my thing. If the defense is arguing that Tory Lanez, because I feel like this is what the defense is arguing. I never shot her. Who shot her? Because it's starting to sound a little bit like the Johnny Cochran Plan B, right? Instead of focusing the trial on OJ, Johnny Cochran focused his trial on Mark Furman. I don't know if you guys remember that. Now we're going back to the 90s. We're going back to the 90s. So they claim in the legal world, they claim that Johnny Cochran created what is called the Plan B. It means to take all of your eggs and put them in the second basket. So instead of the case focusing on, oh, Tory Lanez is a great person, he never shoots someone, it's a divert attention somewhere else. So it seems like in day 1 of trial, the defense is actually doing a really good job by focusing the attention really on Kelsey. If no one else picked up on that, I sure did. And really focusing the attention on Kelsey. The prosecution opened up and said, bam, he had accosted Megan and Kelsey by pulling Kelsey's hair and shooting Megan. The defense came back and said, well, Megan got gunshot powder on her. And Kelsey has gunshot residue on her. And Kelsey also has a bunch of her stuff in the middle of the road. And Kelsey was fighting Megan. And Kelsey was out there talking about how Megan is dirty and she is slime and she's been messing with everybody that I've been messing with, which is real, you guys. That happens in the real world. Women who do have best friends will have that one best friend who will date every man behind her. That's the thing. Don't act like it's not. So I feel like the defense is doing a really good job at pointing the attention on Kelsey. Not to say that Kelsey did anything, but just to say Megan really had no beef with Tory. She really had beef with Kelsey. And could you conclusively say it wasn't Kelsey who shot Megan? That's what their defense is. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because what Tory is arguing is that I had no problem with Megan. I was messing with Kelsey and Megan. So why would I have a problem? I was living good. I was sleeping with both of them. Why would I be mad at Megan? Sounds like Megan and Kelsey found out that they have been sleeping with the same 3 men and they got the beef. So this sounds like a cat fight. That's what their defense is. That's what their defense is. And it's smart. It is quite smart. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a really smart move to make. This is from Kenny. Says the pic I seen of the defense attorney, he looks mean AF. I bet he is. Now Kelsey the aggressor. I think that's what they're going to argue. Renette says basically his defense is saying that she was shot looking at the other people. If she was shot, look at the other people. Exactly. Precisely. This from Desiree. Desiree says, nah, Megan and Kelly fought. Tory probably tried to break it up by pulling Kelsey's hair, and then he shot the ground to make them stop. I really don't care. He should go down. That could also be a defense too, but I don't think that's the defense they're going to use. But I could see that if this were the truth, right? There's Megan's truth, Kelsey's truth, Tory's truth. This sounds like the truth, Desiree. That's what it sounds like. But because Tory Lanez isn't a U.S. citizen, he cannot take any ownership of that gun at all. So he has to push the blame on Kelsey and Megan. He can't take any of it because he's like, I can't have that gun to begin with. So I think this might be the actual truth. They were fighting over him. That's what it sounds like. And other men that they were both sharing. And he was trying to break the fight up. So he shot at the ground and inadvertently shot Megan's foot. That's what it seemed like, in my opinion. I agree with you. I do. I agree with you. Who else was in the car? I think the security, but I don't remember. I think security was. That's from David. Hey, David said, just create reasonable doubt. That's what they have to do. Mm-hmm. You ought to know, shouldn't you? Don't you teach this stuff? This is from Calypso says, can Megan press charges on Kelsey? I think they were all drunk. She could, right? But I think they were all drunk. And I honestly don't think Megan even knows really. I think Megan knows in bits and pieces how it started, in bits and pieces. But I think honestly, it's all a haze to all of them, to be fair. I think it was all a drunken haze to everybody. This from Elise says, reasonable doubt. That's all they have to do in the defense. That's correct. That is correct. Yes. This from Calypso says, Steph, what is your hypothesis on this case? Do I think that Tory Lanez is going to get charged? No, I don't. I think he's going to be found not guilty. Day one, his prosecution's doing a phenomenal job, or the defense is doing a phenomenal job. And I'm not even a legal expert. There's some in the this guy right here, ask this guy, he teaches it. So I think that I think the defense is doing a good job at casting reasonable doubt. They started right out the gate with doubt. Now we all got doubt, right? And if this is the public, right? We're the public. Imagine what the jury is thinking. They're probably like, oh, wait. Because the reason why the defense is so good is because they came out with a stark contradiction, not a waffled one, right? Like they didn't say, well, Tory wasn't standing outside the car. You know what I mean? He was on the other side of the car and he arched up. They're not arguing semantics. They're arguing two completely different stories. So it gives the jury's like, so what happened? That's enough reasonable doubt. That's enough for me. If I were on the jury and I heard both the opening and closing the remarks, I would complete, and then the rest of the case went just like that. In my personal opinion, I would say not guilty because I could not confidently put Tory Lanez in jail. Confidently. It's too much doubt for me to be like, oh, he's guilty. I personally couldn't do it. I'd be like, ooh, there's way too much. Was there a fight? Because Megan didn't even mention the fight. So we have no concept, right? None. But we got broken fingernails in the middle of the street. So one would surmise there was a tussle somewhere. And you have broken necklaces and pendants. In my personal non-legal opinions. What's up, Lampo Show? How you doing today? In my personal non-legal opinions, if the case continues like this, there is no way I would convict Tory Lanez of those 3 felonies. I could not do it. It's way too much doubt. Okay, let's get into this next chunk from the prosecutor's final witness. It says prosecutors call Officer Cabrera. She testified that she pulled over the black SUV that Tory, Megan, Kelsey was riding in. She testified she found the gun in front of the passenger seat where Tory was seated. Interesting. The defense cross-examined Officer Cabrera and got her to testify that Kelsey was the last person to get pulled from the vehicle. The defense's rebuttal: if Kelsey was the last person to exit the vehicle, She could have put that gun where Tory sat, correct? I don't know where he found these attorneys, but Tory Lanez is getting his motherfucking money's worth. He's getting his money's worth. That is a fantastic question. And it's true. Could she have reasonably moved the gun there, right? They're all black, three black people in the car, nervous, and there's a gun, and one of your friends is shot. She could have moved it there. She could have just shimmied her way out of the car and put it there. You understand what I mean? It's reasonable. It's reasonable to surmise that she could have moved that gun in that seat. Okay, let's continue. Ooh, their defense is no joke. Okay, it says the jailhouse call from Tory Lanez made to Kelsey was played in court. In the call, Kelsey accepts Tory's apology and agrees to help him get out of jail. Tory asked her to call his security, who was there that night, so he can figure out what is needed to be done to get out on bail. I wish there was more, but there isn't. I wish there was more. Dang. But let me just refresh because sometimes their notes come in later. Hold on one second, you guys. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the first day of trial. Wow, they're doing a good job. Go No Jumper. We appreciate all the hard work you're doing. Okay, so let me get to some of your comments. This is going to be a really good. This is out to be the OJ. This is OJ Simpson level of juicy. This is OJ Simpson level of juicy. This from CC. CC says, as he should, but I'm with Megan until proven otherwise. Same here. Rose Allen says, could have been how he reside. I don't know what that means. Could have been how the reside got on her. Could have been how the residue got on her. Got you. Could have been, but she stated, the prosecutor and the defense stated that she was standing. The prosecutor stated she was standing next to Megan when she got the gunshot residue on her. The defense, I think, argued that she was just sitting next to him in the car. I don't know. I can't remember. I had to scroll back up. I got to scroll back up. This from Knightley says, you're reading Twitter. Mob Radio read the transcripts. Read the actual transcripts. I don't have to read the actual transcripts. I don't. You know why I don't? Because it's right here. It's not Twitter. No Jumper sent a court reporter into the courthouse. Nightly Neek, they sent him into the courthouse. This is from the prosecutor's mouth to my ears. Okay. So if they have enough money to send court reporter or journalists into the courtroom to transcribe it, thank God. Okay. I don't want to read the whole thing because I know it's going to be long and all of that. I just wanted the cliff notes. And that's why we like Twitter. So if you want, I'm sorry, let me go back to your comment. I'm sorry, Neek. So Neek, oh, I don't know where your comment is, but Neek, if you want to go back to, I don't know who you read. Wait, let me go back to your comment so I can make sure I read it correctly. Hold on. Oh, I can't find it now. Okay, well, if you're still here. So if you want to go back to that person's page so they can read you the whole transcript, go read it. You don't got to come here. But don't be in the comments being all ignorant because you will get cussed out. You won't get blocked, but you'll definitely get a Joe Jackson reading over here. So just watch your mouth when you're coming over here talking crazy, wild, and disrespectful and like a Looney Tune. So I wanted to switch over because I want to talk about something not lighthearted, but we'll finish the night out with this story time. This story time is wild. The story time is wild, and I want to play it because honey, it's a mess. Not only is it a mess, honey, it's a mess and it's ghetto. So I want to read this one. We won't be able to get to all three, but we're going to get to two of them because two of them are really good. This one, really good. The other one where the girl got shot by her baby daddy mama. We won't get to both of those stories because, honey, those stories are good. I said, no, you're missing so much. I'm really not. I promise you I'm not. And if I'm missing anything, give us the cliff notes, okay? Email them to us. We appreciate that. This from YNV says, Chief, go back to my comment. If the man weave don't fit, you must acquit. Doesn't he wear a unit? This from Dara says, can a person with more residue, can a person have more residue than the other to tell who shot? Well, it depends on where it is, right? Because when you're holding a gun, feasibly the residue is here and up your forearms. That's just from forensic files, honey. That's all I know because I'm not a forensic scientist. But it starts from here in your hand up to your forearm. So if Kelsey had some on her hands up to her forearm, gosh, her hand had to have been really close to that gun to get some of it. But again, I don't know until they reveal that into the next days. I know for a fact Kelsey is going to testify. I also know for a fact that forensic analysts are going to come in and analyze that gunshot residue. So until they do, it's possible. It is possible. It's quite possible, but I don't know how that works scientifically. I wish I had a better answer for you, Dara. I wish I did, but I do apologize. This is from Samantha says, "Hey, nosy fam, I'm late. Hey, how you doing today?" This is from Tamira says, "Just got on and heard baby daddy mama wild. Way to open. Oh, welcome. Stick around. The story time is next. This is only a 2-parter, but the baby mama story time is a 3-parter, and it's good. And I know we're running a little bit late into the live stream because my live streams are only an hour, but these are really good stories. And y'all should hear these stories from the TikTok streets. Black Miss Frizzle says, see you later. This is not the channel for you. Oh, by night or whatever. This is not the channel for you. Oh, I think you might be talking to someone else. This from Calypso says, can Megan press charges on Kelsey? I think I got to that. And yes, she could, I guess, if she thinks that Kelsey harmed her in some way, she could. Yeah, she could. Yes, she absolutely could. This from YNV says, no one better lie. They could be on camera. They could be camera evidence coming out of nowhere for real. There could be. I mean, they were in the Hollywood Hills, so there's at least one Ring doorbell floating around the Hollywood Hills somewhere. Do you understand what I mean? There's at least one. But let's get into this story time because, honey, it's a mess.
I have to do this in parts, but I will start off with how I initially found out. It was a Thursday, and my brother had texted me asking what I was doing after work. He said he was picking up something nearby, so he wanted to stop in because he wanted to talk to me about something to do with his love life. So 4:30 p.m. rolls around, and my brother texts me in all caps, "Yo, get in the car." And I'm like, hey, I'm not even done work yet. Like, come in the house. Let me sign off. Let me get changed. My brother comes inside. He's squirming. He's like, let's go. I'm like, what's going on? Like, who did you get pregnant? Like, this whole time, I think it's something to do with his love life because that's what he told me. My ex was also home at the time, so he comes downstairs to say hi, and I think he instantly picked up that something was going on. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go pick up some cat litter. This man has, 1, never picked up cat litter, 2, anything for the house. So I was like, that's not normal. I'm like, just wait, we'll grab it later. So I say to my brother, I was like, do you want to go grab a drink? Like, can he come too? He's like, no, just us. I'm like, okay, let's go then. So I leave the house with just my brother. We're in his car driving, and he looks at me. He's like, have you ever heard of Unhinged Durham Region? And I'm like, no, what is that? And he's like, this is going to be really hard to tell you. And I'm like, okay, I'm scared. And he's like, you should be. And instantly got that like sinking feeling like, oh, I can assume what this is about then. So essentially this Unhinged Durham Region group is where women post about men on dating apps to warn other women. And someone had posted about my fiance at the time. Someone saw it who knows my brother more than they know me. So they sent it to my brother being like, hey, isn't this your sister's fiance? So I read through the screenshot where this woman essentially posted that she had slept with my fiance, that he was aggressive. And then there's like multiple comments of women being like, yeah, did the same to me. We went out on a date and then he ghosted me. He blocked me on everything, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, okay, I've seen what I needed to see. You can take me back to the house and I'll confront him. The confrontation is a whole other stories, so come back for more.
Ciao. I also hate that voice, but I think it's cute. It's called Trickster. It's a great voice. Ciao. I don't know. I didn't see part 2, but let's get to part 2.
Okay, my friends, it's time. Let's unpack part 2. So I find out my fiance's cheating on me. I see the proof. My brother is now driving me back home to confront him. I get home, I walk upstairs, and we meet on the landing of our upstairs. It's kind of a blur, but I think I led with, there's an entire thread about you on the internet, so why don't you tell me the truth for once? This man, I'll never forget his stupid face. He looks at me like a deer in the headlights, and he's like, what are you talking about? So I repeat myself. I'm like, there's an entire thread about you on the internet where women are talking about hooking up with you and you being on apps. So why don't you tell me the truth for once? And he's like, show me. I'm like, I'm absolutely not showing you. I'm like, why don't you give me a name? He looks at me. He goes, Allison. I'm like, well, Allison isn't on this thread. So bonus points for Allison. When was that? Now it gets a little spicy. So my ex, he went to Ontario Police College. So he tells me that he slept with Allison while he was away at OPC. I can't overly remember what I said after that, but I remember seeing red, being so angry. I was like, you will never see me again. I remember asking why he even proposed to me. I don't remember if he ever answered, but I do remember he decided to make a phone call. So I was like, perfect, we're phoning a friend right now. I'll call your mom. So I called his mom. I let her know that her son would be showing up at her doorstep because he cheated on me with multiple women, not whatever story he was going to come up with. He then packed a duffel bag, left our house that we had bought together just over a year before, and I never saw him again. At this point, we had already sent our save the dates for the wedding. I had already spent over $11,000 in non-refundable wedding deposits. So lots more to come if you want to follow along.
Wow, what a dirt bag. The ring was beautiful. I'm not going to lie. She does show the ring in another video. It's huge. It's got to be like 2 carats. It was huge. It's beautiful. Wow. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a picture of the ring. Was it this video? I think it was this video. No, was it this video? Or was it this one? This one here. Oh, she's got text over it, so you can't even see it. Oh, that sucks. I'll just try to pause it. But it's a beautiful ring. Yeah, it's like a little clip. She doesn't play the full picture of the ring, but gosh, the ring is beautiful. But wow, what a dirt bag. So we're gonna fast forward ahead because I want to go to the other story time before we run out of time. Where is it? This one here, Child's got 11 million views. We about to get into this one because, honey, this this one a mess. It was only posted 2 days ago. This one is a mess, honey. Calypso says, just go down to the courthouse and get married and save the mules. Not when he's a cheater. You got to just leave him immediately. Now, this story comes after a girl was shot 8 times by her baby daddy's mom. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Story time. I got shot 8 times by my boyfriend's mom's husband, and I survived it. And disclaimer, just want to make this video just raise awareness of gun violence, violence against women, and domestic violence. And I just wanted to share my side of the story. So it all started when the day after Thanksgiving, it was Black Friday. It happened at night. Me, my boyfriend, his sister, and his neighbor, we were all watching a movie late at night, and his stepdad kept walking in and out of the house, and he was playing really loud music in his garage. Um, his sister went to go to sleep, and then a little later, his neighbor left. So, me and my boyfriend, we were gonna sleep in the living room, but he was just, his stepdad, I guess, was making too much noise, so I felt more comfortable sleeping in the basement. So we went to the basement, and my boyfriend said he was gonna go upstairs, brush his teeth, wash his face, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm just gonna be on my phone and just get ready to go to sleep. And then out of nowhere, after my boyfriend left, I heard a really loud noise, like a really loud bang. And I thought somebody broke in the house. Like, I wasn't sure what it was, but I thought somebody broke in the house. Next thing I know, I hear I hear really loud like footsteps running down the stairs, and I hear my boyfriend yelling, but I wasn't sure what was happening. And then I see his stepdad stop in the corner of the room, maybe like 10 feet away, and points a gun at me. And I'm over here scared because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then he starts shooting at me. He starts shooting, and I put my hand out because I thought that was going to protect me, but it didn't. So after he shot my hand, I fell down on the couch. Um, I fell down on the couch and pretended to be dead. But even when I fell down, he shot me 2 more times on my leg. After that, I heard him run up the stairs, and I'm over here in disbelief. I I thought I got shot by BB guns. So I I looked down, and then I realized that there's blood everywhere. And then I grabbed my phone and just tried to text my sister. I tell her like, hey, I got shot. And I don't know if anybody has called the police. So I call 911 and tell them that I just got shot, and I let me know if you want a part two.
Okay, so this is part 2 of what happened, and I feel like this will answer many of the questions in the comments. So while I'm talking to the 911 operator, I'm telling her, my name, my age, birth date, where my address, and I feel myself like losing my breath, and I hear a few more gunshots upstairs, and I hear my boyfriend yelling that he's still inside. He's still inside the house. So as soon as I hear my boyfriend yelling, I start screaming his name like a couple times, and then after that, I keep talking to the 911 operator. And after I screamed his name, I heard footsteps come down the stairs, but they didn't come down the stairs all the way. It sounded like they came halfway down the stairs and then ran back up. After that, I want to say maybe a minute later, I start hearing voices in the house, like upstairs. Like, remember, I'm downstairs in the basement by myself. I hear voices upstairs and I hear the neighbor. So when I hear the neighbor, I feel like the coast is clear, like maybe they got this guy. So I start screaming. I start screaming for help. While I'm still on the phone with that 911 operator, my boyfriend comes running down the stairs and sees me like this and starts screaming for help because he knows that the police is on the way, or they're outside the house. I'm not sure. He starts screaming for help. The next thing I knew, a few cops come down the stairs. So the police start putting pressure on the wounds, and they also mark X's on me where I got shot. So I got shot here, 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 one between my armpit, on one of my shoulder, my hand, and 2 on my leg. I get put on the stretcher, and then I'm get put on an ambulance, and I'm sent to the hospital. In the hospital, I learned that that first shot I heard he actually shot his mom, my boyfriend's mom, and then those footsteps that I heard come halfway down the stairs and halfway up, that was actually him. And right after that, he shot himself a couple times and committed suicide. And this is the news article. And this is my GoFundMe if anybody would like to help out with my medical bills, physical therapy.
So it looks like he killed the mom too. Wow. She's too comfortable with people's house. That was her in-laws' house. It's not like it was just a stranger. That was her boyfriend's parents' house. Why did he do it? He could be crazy. Sometimes it's just that's just the simplest response. You know what I mean? Sometimes people are just out of their minds. Does that make sense? Some people are just really out of their minds and they just do it. He's obviously suffering from mental health disorder and he took it out on everybody in the house. Yeah, I'm glad she's alive too. This is from Tamira says, that's what I'm thinking. Where's the motive? I'm feeling a feeling, but I'm wait, nosy. What's the feeling? This from Calypso says, so the dude just lost his mind all of a sudden. Help me understand this insanity. I guess so. She said that they were hanging out with her boyfriend's neighbors, all watching movies, and they decided to go to bed. Thank God they didn't go to sleep upstairs because he would have had easy access to them and killed them. But yeah, and then she said he was playing really loud music. Maybe he was going through some sort of psychotic like episode of, if you will. Does that make sense? Like maybe he was going through something in his brain. And so you guys, I can't understand crazy people. I could just do my best to kind of analyze it. This from Kenny Rose says, was not expecting this story. This one was crazy. This one was crazy. I saw it come on my FYP and I didn't watch it. I said, I'll watch it on here because we know we love a good hood story. This is from Nikita says he might have been on that stuff. Yeah. He might have been. Yeah, he might have been on that stuff. This from Goddess says he was playing the loud music to hype himself up to do it. Heck yeah. Now that I believe. That I definitely believe. Trying to drown out the voices of reason in his head telling him not to do it. Could be. He said, nah, he been crazy for real. Big Dreamer says he was in the garage. He was prepping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the boyfriend didn't get shot. No. Yeah. Where was the boyfriend? He was upstairs brushing his teeth. I'm gonna reserve my opinions for later. I'm gonna reserve those opinions for later. Because remember, she never did see who shot her. I'm just saying she never did see. She only heard footsteps. She never did actually see anyone. Let me pull the article. Maria. We right here, Maria. Okay. Maria, we right here. Let me pull that article because the math is not mathing for me. Let me fast forward where she shows the article. Hold on one second. I'm just letting it play till I see the article. South Bend, Indiana. Okay, hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. This might be it. Yeah, this is it. This it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, let me share my tab. Okay, because just do a little digging. Okay. Okay, so it says South Bend, Indiana. 2 people are dead. Another one is hurt after a shooting in South Bend, Indiana. Police ruled it a murder by suicide. November 26th, police were called to the 2800 block of West Calvert Street. When they arrived, they found 3 people who were suffering from gunshot wounds. Through interviews with witnesses and processing the information, the detectives determined that Robert Lechtinsky, 62, shot his wife, Debbie Lechtinsky, 60, and family friend Giselle Montero, 25, before suffering a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Debbie and Robert had been pronounced dead at the scene. Montero was taken to the hospital in stable condition. There were 2 other individuals in the home at the time, but they were not injured. Autopsies for Debbie conducted earlier this week to support the findings. Meanwhile, prayer vigil and grief counseling. There was 2 people in the house. He had to have hid. He had to have, and that's okay because it's come on now, it's a shooting, right? Your natural instinct kicks in. So some people's natural instinct goes to protecting someone. Some people's natural instinct goes into protecting themselves. So if y'all know how black people be, when a shooting goes out, you just book it, okay? So, yeah. So, yeah, yeah. The sister and brother didn't get shot. I don't think so. My thing is, why come down to the basement? Maybe he thought, maybe if the dad did do it, maybe he thought he was shooting her son, the boyfriend. Maybe he heard the gunshots going off and he just hid in the bathroom, maybe locked the bathroom door and hid, you know? And then, or the dad must have thought they were in the basement together collectively. But she said he walked up to her and shot her, but she was face down, pretending she was dead. Remember, she never saw who shot her. She just assumed it was the dad because he had a, you should watch the next part. There's a next part. Okay.
So this is part 3 of what happened upstairs while I was in the basement. So my boyfriend said when he ran down and shot me, he was in the restroom, and as soon as he heard gunshots, he started to yell, but he didn't know who was shooting or who he was shooting at. So he ran out the house. As soon as he ran out the house, his stepdad was running up the stairs and was gonna chase him, but luckily my boyfriend ran out the house fast enough where he couldn't keep up with him. So then he ran to his sister's room, but luckily his sister ran to the bathroom before he went to enter her room, and she went into the bathroom and locked herself in there. So while he was in the room, that's when both of us heard my boyfriend yell, "He's still inside the house, he's still inside the house." So he starts shooting from his sister's room. My boyfriend said that he was running and he didn't know if he was behind him or chasing him, so he tried to lose him in the cornfields. And then from there, he ran to the neighbor's house and starts banging on the door, and nobody's answering. So he goes across the street. He's yelling at the same time. He said when he's running, he lost his phone. It fell out of his pocket. So he starts banging at our neighbor store, the one that was there earlier that night. From there, my neighbor and his family run out of the house and goes towards my boyfriend's house. Then my boyfriend starts yelling from outside the house, asking if anybody's okay, but he didn't know who was alive and who wasn't in the house. So he goes inside the house and then sees the dead body in the middle of the hallway. And shortly after, the rest of the neighbors walk in, and his sister heard voices, heard her brother, so she slowly walked out of the bathroom. And from there, that's when I started hearing voices upstairs, and I started screaming for help, and then that's when my boyfriend ran down to help me.
So I guess that answers some of the questions ish. Yeah, he was. He was trying to clear the house. You're right. This is a very interesting story. Um, Tales from the TikTok streets is what I'm going to call this series. Literally, Tales from the TikTok streets, honey, because Children of the Corn, stop. So yeah, Tales from the TikTok streets, honey, because you don't ever know what you're gonna get on TikTok. You really don't know what you're gonna get. You could get a pie recipe or a murder for hire. You just never know what you're going to get. But that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow right here at the Nosy Bystanders, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.